All right. So this is probably the first video of this channel, and my name is Lucas. I am kind of updating myself on all what is been going on in the development world, web development, backend, frontend, full stack, all of that stuff. And I kind of want to try to create a API using Rails, specifically a GraphQL API, because I found that the boilerplates to create this API, this type of API using TypeScript and Node.js, which is my main stack, is takes quite a bit of time. And I really like the Rails ORM, although I don't have that much experience. But without further ado, I'm just gonna try to see how fast I can create an API using GraphQL and Rails. Alright, so the first step is to create a new Rails app using the API flag. So you can do a Rails new, right there, Rails GraphQL, and then I can do -API like this. Alright, so let's open that in the VS Code. Right, so if I try to run this, let's see, let me run from VS Code actually. So do Rails S. Okay, so let's see my browser here. Open up. Okay, we got the Rails API running, but there's nothing yet going on. All right, let's try to create the first model. So I'm gonna create let's say artist. Yeah, so artist has a first name, last name, and email. Oops, I have to navigate into my project directory. Yeah, let's generate the first model. Let's also generate the other model. This could gonna be like not item, but let's say a record. Yeah, title of the record, description. Can you have an image in reference to an artist? All right, cool. Let's see what we got here. So we already got artist, record, perfect. We got schema. So not yet, I think we need to migrate. So let's create a database. Rails DB create. Rails DB migrate. Okay, got the schema. Now we can basically enter the database and create some test data. I'm gonna use the seed to do that. Probably Copilot can help me. So just populate artists. Just create. Okay. Copilot's thinking. The email. Okay. Okay, we can just make up an email here. John. John, Paul, and George. Okay. It suggested the Beatles, so yeah, that's funny. Alright, so I guess the records is going to suggest records for them, but they are the individual artists. We don't have like a band model, but okay, that's fine. Yeah, that should be fine. I want a few more for the something. We don't really have duration in our model. I'm not going to populate duration. Let's populate, yeah, like that and like that. I want John to have the 2 first songs, and then the other ones respectively have the other songs. So let's try to seed this. Let's see Rails DB seed. Initialize constant song. Oh yeah, I don't have song, I have record. Yeah, probably have just song, but fine. Okay, so if I do a Rails console and I want to find out if that worked, so let's see artist.all. There you go, we got our artists. If I do record.all, alright, we got the artist tree. Perfect. So we want to do is we need to create like a relationship between the artist and the record. So let's come here. So artist has many records, and I don't really want to do validations right now, but thank you Copilot for this. So in theory now, let's reconsole again. If I do artist dot find one dot records, I get the records of the artist one. Perfect. That's why I like Rails ORM, is awesome. Alright, next let's plug in the GraphQL here, shall we? Actually I'm gonna commit this, so let me just say here init project. Good enough. Alright, next let's see. Alright, so what I want to do now is I want to install the GraphQL packages. Let's start with bundle add GraphQL. And I have a couple of tutorials here that helped me with the process of setting this up. It was not super straightforward, but I got some guidelines here. So the first thing I want to do, I want to run the install command for the GraphQL package that will generate a bunch of like boilerplate for me. So the command is somewhere. Yeah, oops, it was just over there. Yeah, regenerate GraphQL install. So I'm gonna copy this and let's see. Alright, that's done. Now we got the GraphQL types here, a bunch of like boilerplate. We have the query type where we're gonna put our queries. There's like a few tests here, pretty good. The nodes type, perfect. Okay, next what I want to do, probably I want to stop this server as well right now. What I want to do now is to be able to see this schema somehow. So I want to actually have the graphical interface, so I can basically come here and say graphical, and then have the interactive website to play with my schema. Right now I'm not running, right now this is not set up, so what I need to do is install another package. So there's this other package that is mentioned in this tutorial here. I need to do a few steps now to make this work. So the next package I want to install is the Rails graphiql-rails, I suppose. Yeah, so we want to install this package. So let's bundle install this package. did I do? Is bundle add? Yeah, bundle add. Too used to Node.js npm install. Alright, so bundle add. Perfect, we got it. And apparently, yeah, other than just installing this package, you need to set up like some, basically like an assets compiler here, so it can compile JavaScript and CSS. Because if we use the Rails API flag, I don't think that anything in that regard comes by default. So let's set it up. So here with the routes, not Copilot, routes, and I'm gonna add this path. So it's with development, we have access to the graphical interface right here. Alright, so if I try to use this now, let's just run, not npm run, see, Node.js developer, Rails S, let's see. Yeah, so, okay, the first error is actually something related to like a session store. And I don't really understand, why the Rails API doesn't come with this kind of by default, but I found that there's like a GitHub, that the solution was here. Basically, I think it's just some basic middleware setup for cookies that probably the GraphQL is kind of expecting to use that. So let's just plug that thing here. There you go. And probably now, okay, probably I need to restart my server after that. It's like an application Ruby 5. Yeah, so now it's gonna be like loading forever because we don't really know how to compile assets, I guess, because this is just like an API. And there's some errors here saying like can't find the script, so yeah, it doesn't really know where to pull the script from. So what we need to do is to add this other package called sprockets rail, yeah, whatever that is called. So bundle add sprockets. I guess it's not that. Let's see. Yeah. So bundle add sprockets. Then we need to require this in the application, so I'm just gonna require this here. And the last thing you need to do is to create this assets folder. Let's go ahead and create the assets folder under my app assets folder, config folder, assets config and manifest.js. So let's create a file called manifest.js, and then I need to add these two things here that basically will tell where to pull the script from, exactly the script that is missing here, as you can see. Let's restart. Sorry, yes, lint. Let's restart, and then there you go. We got the graphical interface. That's pretty neat. And then we kind of have like a test field query here. Let's play with that test query. Test field. I can execute. Hello world. Beautiful. So that's pretty cool. Let's make a commit. Set up graphical packages. Alright, so next thing we want to figure out is we want to actually query the database. So let's do that. So to query the database, I want to go to my artist folder. I'm not going here actually. Alright, so to query the database, what do I need to do? I need to create my query. So let's go ahead in the query type. So here in my query type, I want to add this field, which first of all I want to query all the artists. So to query all the artists, let's just remove this crap. So to query all the artists, what I want to do, I want to probably maybe Copilot can help me. Let's see, query all the artists. Let's see if we get something. Yeah, that's kind of the definition that I need. It's pretty good. So if I define a function here called artists, artists.all, that's exactly what I need. All right, so let's see. Initialized constant artist type. Oh, all right, so we forgot a step. We don't have the artist type yet because we need to run the generator to generate the object types for us. So let's go back here to the tutorial, and they have something generate. Yeah, so we need to generate the types for our models. So I run Rails generate GraphQL object artist and record. Yeah. So now we have artist type. We already populate with the fields from the model, which is insane. And we have the record type, which also already populated. Let's restart the Rails server. And let's see if my query now it's working. We got artists, email, first name, last name. There we go. We got the data. And now I want to query the records. Let's create another query, records. So this is artists. And we don't have records yet, so let's just define that. Query all the records. Okay. Copilot figured out basically everything for me. Record type, refresh. Artist ID, title. Cool. So we got the artist ID, got the title. So what I want to do now is to query the records of the artist, and then basically use these fields in here. Right now I can't, because I think I need to define in the artist type. Let's go to the artist type. And here I need to define the field records. And then is, yeah, just pass it as an array of record type. Let's refresh this, and apparently that's all we need to do. That is crazy easy. Probably there's some optimizations that needs to be done here. This is like pretty bare bones, but just the fact that I was able to do this in like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, that's kind of crazy. So yeah, so I get that wraps for me. Yeah, I think that's kind of like what I want to accomplish on this first tutorial. I will continue to involve my knowledge on the GraphQL gem for Rails, because I want to use it in my future projects as my base API to build like robust applications. So that wraps this one. I hope you enjoyed, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.